This 1 Degree Outside video is brought to you by Fiesta Shows.
This holiday season, experience the magic of the celebration of lights. Drive through over a mile of glittering road transformed into a wonderland of color with more than 1 million LED lights in the Merrimack Valley, South Shore, Central Mass, and Maine. Now through January 3rd, save on tickets and enter to win at fiesta.onedegreeoutside.com.
Sunday Evening Essentials, 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. I'm meteorologist Matt Noyce. We're going to start out with the nuts and bolts just to get your week started. Then I'll go over to the green screen and we'll dive into your early week insights, that deep dive into meteorology. So right now we've got a storm over eastern Maine. That's what's kept the snow going across eastern and northern Maine, the upslope snow in the mountains, and the wind for a lot of us. Check it out. Top wind gust today, 52 miles per hour in the Pioneer Valley. A lot of southern New England gusting 40, 45. Wind wasn't quite as strong in the north. It was busy, but not as busy as it was in southern New England. That wind will quiet now as we get to the evening and overnight. Not entirely. You can see it's still blowing, but not as strong. We get down to about 30 degrees or so. There'll still be some snow in the mountains, particularly northern and western facing slopes, and still some snow in eastern and northern Maine. Overall, it does feel like winter these next few days. School day feels like forecast. Going to have the kids with winter coats certainly the next 2 days, probably on Wednesday to some extent as well. A lot of bubbling clouds tomorrow, but there'll still be some sun and then more in the way of sun on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that gets you out the door over the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and take that deeper dive into meteorology. I'll head over to the green screen. And early week insights this time around really is going to focus on two things. One, yes, the chill that's in place, the fact that we still have the winter feeling, the upslope snow here to start the week, but also the bigger change that comes later in the week. And with a shift in the jet stream, the cold will gradually break down. We're going to take a look at all of that coming up. Quick reminder, we are always on. We are New England's first and only weather network on your smart TV, online, and on our app for that matter as well. Recent snow has been on the order of about 2 to 3 inches across a lot of northern New Hampshire, running into parts of central and northern Maine. Maine has been the greatest beneficiary, anywhere between, let's say, 1.3 inches at Caribou, 3.6 at Madrid. Now, again, we're going to add to these totals when you combine Monday and Tuesday as well. Total liquid equivalent, because that's what's really important for the water table, actually was highest in southern New England, as it's been lately. And that's why we're still looking at extreme drought across northern New England. We didn't add that much to it. Been hearing from folks in northern New England a little bit worried here that, look, if we're going to snow season, we're going to have to wait for that to melt to get into the water table. That would be the case, but because of the fact that we do think that the cold relents a little bit and then it turns warmer, you actually still have a chance to get some rain to put water into the water table before we go all snow, okay? So notice that we're watching a storm center pulling away in the first part of this week, and as it pulls away, yes, plenty of cold left over, high temperatures Monday in the 20s and 30s, a couple of 40s in southern New England. Tuesday, the wind not as strong, still talking about temperatures for highs generally in the 20s and 30s north and 40s south, but that again will lead to a relaxing of the cold for the middle and end of the week. Radar forecast, mostly it's going to be on the northern and western facing slopes of the mountains where we get upslope snow that interestingly starts to die a little bit later Monday, but then comes back to you again in the northern Green Mountains Monday night into Tuesday morning. So that's going to be several inches of additional new snow that will come in some of the north. While the farther south you are, it's just drier air that comes in. So some clouds bubble up for our Monday and then even fewer of them on Tuesday, but it's chilly. It's chilly. So when you put it all together, the high terrain where you see the purple showing up, that's where you still get another 6 or 8 inches of snow combined between Monday and Tuesday. But generally, it's about an inch or two in the lower terrain of the North Country when you put it all together over the 2-day total. So some slick spots that need to be treated at times, but not like a big onslaught of wintry weather on the roadways, right? Meanwhile, predicted wind gusts, Monday's gusts are 40 to 45 miles per hour, basically from mid-morning all the way to late afternoon. We do expect that Tuesday, the winds will be a lot less. We're talking about probably what will be on the order of about 25 or 30 mile per hour gusts tops. So that's going to be a different feeling. And certainly it's not going to be nearly as blustery for us overall. Notice your high temperatures Monday, 40s south and 30s north. Again, with the wind that doesn't quit, your feels like forecast Monday, 20s and 30s. And certainly as we get into Monday night with actual lows going down to the 20s for a lot of us, if you work outside, construction, things like that in the overnight, you want to be dressed for winter. Look at these feels like temperatures for overnight Monday night. Many of us feeling like the teens. That's definitely a bit of a shock to the system when it happens for the first time over the course of the season. Tuesday's highs aren't a lot better. We start to get there. Really, I think we're going to have to get past midweek. I say that because what happens is at midweek, we get missed by a system down to the south, but there is a warm front associated with this. So it opens the door to what will be the new kind of milder pattern that comes into play for the end of the week. And we talked about this in pattern predictions last week. You can bet we'll talk about it again in pattern predictions this week. The fact that we do break down the cold, open up the warmth, but how long will it last? I can tell you for the purposes of this video, focused on the next several days, watch the jet stream trough start to relax, watch the new regime start to take hold, not nearly that same kind of troughing or dip in the jet stream here at home, which means not nearly the same availability of cold air, definitely plays out. Temperature forecast about 6,000 feet. You're looking at that red line being the freezing line, right? So that'd be cold enough for snow at all the summits first part of the week. But as we get to the latter part of the week, look at how that cold just kind of lets go and moves north. This is not a surprise if you watch our pattern predictions videos. And that's why I say it's going to be a big one this week as we look out to the next 2 weeks to see whether winter comes back or if this just kind of breaks the back for a while. Definitely, as we get to the end of the week, you go from Wednesday to Thursday, high temperatures are running in the 40s, and by Friday, with increasing chance of rain showers, even to northern New England, you got temperatures climbing up into the 50s. Just a reminder, of course, for our 14-day forecast anytime, you can grab that right in the app. It's totally free and 5 stars, 1 degree outside weather on the App Store and Google Play. Looking forward to unpacking more about the longer pattern with you in pattern predictions. See you again with that on Monday.